Hi, I'm Noelle with Today's Brew, where top producing real estate agents share their tips on taking more listings, making more money, and having fun doing it. On today's episode, we welcome Austin Hellickson from Seattle, Washington. Austin, how are you?
Doing great and excited to be here. Thank you, Noelle.
Thank you for coming on. It is 6:30 in the morning over there. What I really want to get started talking about first off is your schedule and how important it is to you on a daily basis. Because like I said earlier, it's 6:30 a.m. in Seattle
Yes.
and you are doing an interview with us. So this must mean that you are very focused and schedule is an important part of your business and its success.
Yeah, I feel like I don't like to overcomplicate things because then it just throws everything else out of whack. So I like to start off my day here in the office at 6:30. No matter what, I'm in the office at 6:30. We have our team huddle at 7:30. So between those two times, I'm just kind of working on building on our business, doing the automations, et cetera, on our back end stuff. 7:30 to 8 a.m. is our huddle. 8 a.m. to noon, I'm doing my prospecting time. So I first start off with expireds through Espresso Agent. Then I go into follow-ups, new leads from the day before and over the night. And that usually takes me till about noon. Noon till about 8, 9 o'clock at night is when I wrap up my day. And then I just rinse and repeat the next day.
Okay, so noon to 8, that's a big window. What are
Yes,
what are you doing? Are you going on appointments?
that's all on appointments. Yes. So generally speaking, I'll have 2 to 3 appointments that day that are confirmed that I'll be going on. Um, just for lack of better words, if you would actually show up, it'd be a lot easier.
So you're saying that you'll have appointments that some people do not show up for?
Yeah, so I'll set as many appointments as I can, and I call confirm and just use I like to call it the Starbucks script and just
Mhm.
ask them, hey, I'm getting Starbucks on my way. Just want to see if I could grab you anything. And then some people will be like, oh, something came up or I can't meet today. So I'll take those folks off my schedule. But generally speaking, I'll have 2 to 3 appointments to go on.
Wow, well, that's awesome. Out of those 2 and 3, how many are you getting?
2 to 3. So
Fantastic.
year to date, I've personally listed and sold about 100 properties. But it the biggest thing is if I meet them in person and they're actually looking to sell, then they're going to list it with us. Otherwise, if I meet with them and they're not selling at all, well, I mean, I can't list those ones that don't sell at all, or if they don't sell.
They're not motivated.
Um, exactly, no motivation. Like, oh, I'm going to wait till the first of the year. Um,
Are you hearing that
I
a lot right now?
I'm getting that a little bit, but I'm trying to help teach folks that look, we can only guess they're going to keep raising rates. So especially for you or Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we got to meet now and we got to sell it now. So that way we have as many buyers as possible, or else you're just not going to be able to sell in January because you won't be able to afford it. And then we know that time will come where they won't be able to afford it in January. They're like, oh man, I wish I would have sold it a couple months ago. Right?
Well, it'll definitely make you have to stay more focused on your job. You're going to have to show up. You're going to have to be committed. You're going to have to stick to the schedule like we were talking about. How long have you been in real estate?
So I've had my license for about 2 years now, been full time since December of last year. So 11 months, more or less, give or take.
That is incredible. And you've done 100 homes, you've said?
Yep. We've
What
built
is
the
your
team as
goal for
well.
next? Okay, okay. How big is your team?
We have myself, 2 admin assistants, 4 ISAs, and about one other listing agent and 4 or 5 buyer agents. So I think we're about 12 or 13 now.
That's that's big. That's big.
Yes, we got lofty goals for this next year. We're shooting for 250 closings.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, I think you'll get it. It seems promising for you and your team for sure. What were you doing prior to real estate? What got you into real estate?
So I actually, well, my dad used to be in real estate. Now he owns Club Wealth, which is a real estate coaching and consulting company. I actually sold their coaching program all through high school. Then I went on a mission for my church, came back, and just jumped feet first in the water, so to speak, into real estate, and we'll be doing this forever.
Very natural transition for you.
Yes.
So since you've mentioned coaching a little bit, I'm going to assume that you have scripts that you follow and a listing presentation. How important is that to you?
I think it's crucial. Not only for the fact that having a script, but I like to think of it more of an outline of things I know I need to use on the call. And there's when I'm using and going through that outline, I need to do certain things on the phone call rather than just sticking to the script no matter what the client says, but just building rapport with them as I go through the things I know I need to hit to be able to set that appointment. And then same thing on the listing appointment.
Keeps you focused and in line with what you need to be doing and a little bit of control of the conversation to keep things
Oh,
the way.
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, well that's good. So do you role play every day or do you have partners that you link up with throughout the day or week?
Honestly, I don't necessarily have role play partners. We all make calls here in the office the exact same time. So I like to say I role play with clients. We're always just making calls, and if I butcher a call, I'm getting feedback from people on my team, and same thing with them when they mess up a call. We're all giving them feedback, so we can all continually improve along the way.
So if you mess up on a call, does that mean to you that you don't get the listing appointment or you just didn't speak well, got a lot of pushback? Will you follow up the next day with them and kind of start over?
I mean, of course, if we're messing up on a phone call, it's generally going to be because we're lacking in some sort of training or thing that we mentioned on the call. You hit the nail on the head earlier saying keeping control of the conversation.
Mhm.
9 times out of 10, if it's a terrible conversation, it's because we lost control in some way or another. And an easy way to gain and keep control is just to be the one that asks more questions. Direct the way that the conversation's flowing. Even if people ask me a question on the phone call, I'll answer, but then I'll follow up with a question. So that way I can continually, like you said, keep the flow of the conversation and keep control of where it's going.
And get more information to be able to, like you said, relate to
Exactly.
them and hopefully get in front of them.
Mhm.
How do you keep a positive mindset though? Like after you have butchered a call, as you said, how do you bounce back from that and not let it ruin your day?
One yes for 52 no's is always the saying, or 50 no's that we just got to keep pounding the phones and someone will say yes eventually. And we just got to continually have that practice that we can role play as much as we want, but until we actually start dialing and talking to real people, we're not going to get real objections in their own lives. I'm just thinking of a call I had yesterday. I immediately called her up. She was looking to sell her house, and she was just very reluctant. I thought she was just going to hang up on me.
Mhm.
And then, like you said, just keeping the flow of the conversation normal and natural. I was able to set an appointment here for this next week. But if I just wanted to do my script, for lack of better words, and not be normal and natural, she would have just hung up on me. She was very reluctant.
Absolutely. So you got it?
Yeah, that's what I did. So we're gonna be meeting this next week.
Oh, perfect. That's great.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So all right, so talking about prospecting a little bit more. You said 8 to 4 or excuse me, 8 to 12. So that is 4 hours. That's a lot of time. How many contacts are you trying to hit that day? And how many calls does it make you to take for you to get there?
Biggest thing for me is the setting the appointments in terms of number of appointments set. So generally speaking, I'll make about 300 calls a day. So actually 8 to noon's when I'm in the office making calls, and then when I'm on a point where in between appointments, I'll be making more calls on my phone. Just make sure I hit that number I'm meeting to. Generally speaking, I'll be between one out of every three contacts or one out of every four contacts will be an appointment set.
Those are some really good numbers. I mean,
Yes.
that's some inspiration right there for newer agents just getting in the business. I mean, for you doing so well on a team or without a team, but just showing up every single day and getting these appointments, that's definitely inspiring to hear for other agents because, like you said, with COVID just having happened in the last 2 years, you didn't really have to do your homework and do your work. It was just turn and burn.
Nor do we
Um,
have the habits. Nobody wanted to come in the
exactly.
office. Excuse me. Now we're getting back into the swing of things, especially the market's changing now. We're probably going to be losing a lot of agents industry wide. It was 87% of agents don't renew their license after 2 years, is the general statistic. And how many is that going to be now after the market's changing? I'd be very interested and curious to see that statistic.
Yeah, probably higher.
Yeah.
Would the turnover rate will probably be higher. You definitely have to be more diligent and remember to run your business as a business
Oh,
and
absolutely.
show up every single day, which is what you're doing. So, um, if you had a piece of advice for newer agents, a general rule that you for them, one thing like don't miss out on, what would it be?
Don't try and reinvent the wheel. for lack that's the biggest thing and the first thing that came to mind, that do the things that have been proven to work and just do those consistently over a long period of time. For example, expired calls. Nobody is dying to call expireds, or maybe there's some people that love calling expireds, but if you do it, you're gonna seek success,
Mm-hmm.
right? I love Espresso Agent for my expired calls. That's what we use, and I can upload those right into our CRM from Espresso Agent. It makes things very simple. Just getting back to the basics, keeping things simple, getting a coach, finding someone who actually does more than you do and has been through this before to guide you in the process. Just as you get back to those basics and not try and reinvent the wheel, you'll be able to see that success in your business.
It's good advice. It's great advice. Would you say expireds are your least favorite, or do you like them?
I'm not as diligent as I should be about calling them, but they're great in golden leads to call. That I mean,
I think
yesterday
so.
alone, here in Washington, I think we had 227 expired listings on the market just yesterday alone.
Wow. That
Right,
hasn't been happening for a while.
right. So we called through all of those, and I think we set 5 appointments off of those yesterday as a team.
That's awesome.
So
Congratulations.
yes, thank you.
I think expireds are golden. I mean, they needed to sell their home, and you are going to deal with people that could be angry on the other end. But like you said, if you maybe don't just stick to the script and can have a little empathy with what they went through, then maybe they'll relate to you and you can get in front of their face.
Oh, absolutely. I would agree with that.
What about for sale by owners? How do you feel about them? How do you like, do you
I
find them
like them.
complicated?
In my personal opinion, they have the heartburn over how much they pay their agent or paying somebody else to do the work for them. Whereas if you can net the same amount of money, would you be opposed to someone actually getting this sold for you? I spoke with somebody here the other day. He's like, "Yeah, one of my neighbors tried to do it for sale by owner, and he tried to sell it for 2 years, and it right."
Yeah, that's not working.
Yeah, you got to look at all different alternatives. I mean, the owner of ForSaleByOwner.com, or not to get too sidetracked, the founder and owner of ForSaleByOwner.com, he tried to sell his house on ForSaleByOwner.com. It didn't sell. He listed it with a Keller Williams agent, and he sold it for $200,000 more than he was asking, which paid for that commission in and of itself.
By far.
Right.
By far.
So I think there's having a tool of or an arsenal of different statistics you can show to people as well can help sway them towards being like, oh, okay, first and foremost, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. And second off, he can probably get the job done for me.
So when you go on your appointments, do you talk about market stats? Because you seem very educated in your area, which is obviously very important. Does that seem to be helpful for you?
Yes and no. So I only do it if I have to help make the sellers. I go in there with the assumptive close saying that these guys are signing paperwork to me today to list their house. And then if I need to show market stats, then I will to again help them list their home with me that day. Other than that, I won't. And I do feel like it is very helpful when I do it.
Yeah, like you're they're a little reluctant, like you said, a little hesitant to maybe use an agent. So then seeing the stats just helps close the deal a little bit.
Hmm.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, if we want to get in touch with you and send you referrals, how can we do that?
Super easy. It's 253-300-1000. That's our office number. We cover all of Washington State. We're here to help you guys out. And if you want to get in touch with me, check me out on Facebook as well, Austin Michael Hellickson.
Okay. And as far as any other social media or email address you can provide?
Yes, so Austin, Austin, my last name Hellickson, HELLICKSON at hellickson.com. So my first name dot last name at lastname.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Austin.
Thank you, Noah. Pleasure chatting with you. Have a great one.
You too.